My name is Rachel Brewster. I'm a historical romance writer, and today we are going to be looking at the book cover market for historical romance novels in the American category because it's fun. And also because it's really important to know what is going on in your market and genre in order for you to market your book. And as an aspiring writer, I obviously want to learn more and more about that so that when it's time for me to publish, I'll be more educated. So let's get into it, shall we? I am talking about Amazon bestsellers. So under romance over here, then you have historical romance, and then we're drilling down into this American category. I'm more of a Regency romance writer, but I want to see what's going on in other historical romance categories in the book market. And I'm so glad I did because I learned a lot through this process. If you had asked me just off the bat, what do you think, Rachel, what do you think will be in the American category? I would have said cowboys, cowboys, and more cowboys, right? Like with six-pack abs and a cowboy hat. That's what I thought would be in this American category. And I was totally wrong. Okay, off the bat, there's one cowboy. But that's not ultimately what I was really finding. So I did this fancy schmancy PowerPoint. Ooh, so fancy. American Historical Romance Amazon bestsellers, June 2022. I went through and I screenshot all of what I ended up finding as I was analyzing this market was there were many books that were in the top category that belonged to a series. So I ended up diving into two different series and what I think their book market is doing really well as a series, and how they're positioning themselves and what I think could do better. So as I record this, it is June 2022. And the first series I want to look at is called Emerson Pass by Tess Thompson. Okay, here are the first three in the series. Again, not cowboys. Like I was so wrong. I think this is phenomenal. Like what a strong artistic point of view. It's captivating. Like I see those and I'm like, I feel intrigue in my body, right? I'm like, oh, it's not what I would have expected, but it's like dark and seedy and mysterious and like, yeah, like this is not a genre that I normally read, but I'm so into these book covers. The artistic point of view is really strong. So is the consistency, right? Tess Thompson is always up there at the top, exact same font, exact same size. Same thing with The School, and then Mistress is italicized of Emerson Pass, and we see that consistently. The Spinster of Emerson Pass, The Scholar of Emerson Pass. If you layered these books one on top of the other, they would be exactly in line, like all like the size of the individual, the text on the top and the text on the bottom, like they would be layered, right? Like perfect consistency. That's so cool. It's so cool to see something simple done so freaking well, right? And if you see this one in the middle, Tess Thompson looks lower than this other Tess Thompson, that's just because of my own screenshot, right? So you can't blame Tess for that. Here's number 4 in the series. It's consistent with the time period, but I'm gonna, if the top 3 were an A+, I'm gonna give this one an A-, right? I'm like, yeah, I see how it's still in line with the others, but the individual isn't consistent in the, what would you call it? Iconography? I don't know, the icon, the person. The pretty picture is different. So not great, but okay. Next one in the series. Okay, here's what I like about it. The lighting is consistent with the top three, right? Like it feels emotionally, that intrigue feels in line with the top three. I'm not a super fan of the fact that we changed it to a carriage, but like, okay. And then the 7 days of Christmas are red. Meh, okay, like again, good, not great, in my opinion. I still like the book cover, but you can see as far as consistency, I'm like, on the edge. Could we not have found an individual that like said, like looked like Christmas and still was consistent? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't make book covers. I just judge them. Judgment-free zone, not here. Judging. I am judging. Try to stop me from judging. And then the last, oh, sorry, not the last one. This is number 6. This is probably my favorite of the entire group. First of all, it's consistent with the top 3. But additionally, oh, it's beautiful. It just says flapper to me. And I'm like, I'm in. I want it. I'm down. And then the last one in the series, the wordsmith. Notice how the light, like, it's so close in my mind, and I'm going to be picky and a pain in the butt, but I just feel like it's very clear that Tess Thompson paid for a professional designer, and I don't understand why a professional book designer would do numbers 3 and 6. With numbers 3 and 6, the individual is dark and the background lighting is bright, right? And then you go to this last one, the wordsmith, and the lighting is on her. Do you see how her shoulders and her hair are bright, and even her dress is gray instead of black? She is in the spotlight and the background is dark. I don't understand why you would flip the lighting when you had such a strong point of view in these other books. I don't get it. So I reclustered them so you can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. These 4 to me are the most consistent in this series. And I think like, maybe I'm a total nerd, but like my heart pitter patters when I see them together and I'm like, oh, that's so cool and I'm interested. And then these 3 feel off in comparison. So why is that important? If you're watching this video, you are probably an aspiring author, and it's something to think about if you are writing in a series, which many authors do, because then you get read through right? Like they want to learn about the other people in the family, for example. But when you're writing a series, you have to think long-term and strategically about what should these books look like so that you can be consistent and you can clearly communicate to your audience that these are all in the same series and give me, the potential reader, that pitter-patter feeling across the entire series. That's my 2 cents and my point of view. It's my channel and I'll have a point of view if I want to, point of view if I want to. You would judge too if it was your channel too. Bam, nailed it. Okay, next one, the McCutcheon family series. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. By Carolyn Fife. Pretty sure I'm correctly pronouncing that one. Not totally sure. Anyway, okay, so here's number 1 book in the series. To me, like, this clearly gives cowboy vibes. I find it fascinating that there isn't a cowboy on the cover. That's apparently not what's in right now in the American category, right? I bet if I looked back 10, 20 years, there'd be a lot of shirtless cowboys standing next to a fence, but that's not apparently what's in right now. Great consistency. Her name is in the same typography at the top. I don't care that the color changed. I think it's great because it like goes, like, do you see how the color of Carolyn matches the flowers at the bottom? Similarly, in the second one, Carolyn is yellow and that vibe is with like the sunset, like I think it's good. The names are consistent. Montana Dawn, Texas Twilight. Like I am both down and jiggy with this. All right, you ready? Wait for it. Deep breath. What? What is happening? What is this? I don't understand. Mail order brides of the West, Evie McCutcheon family. I'm sorry, Mail Order Brides of the West, Evie, a McCutcheon family novel. But why? I don't get it. And if I'm like, if, dude, seriously, leave a comment if you get it. Because I do get that this is like different, right? Like the first two are the McCutcheon family, and then this third one is like a spin-off kind of. But why wouldn't you finish the McCutcheon family series and then launch the spinoff? This is literally listed as book number 3 in the McCutcheon family series. It's not its own thing, or it's not number like 11 in the series. It's number 3. Maybe this is me being naive. And if somebody can leave a comment and explain to me why I'm dumb, go for it. Because currently I don't get it. And then we have this one, and it's like, oh, maybe we're changing artistic direction or storyline or something. Nope, just kidding. Okay. And then I'm going to be, again, a massive pain in the butt. I don't understand why you would call it Moon over Montana when you could have called it Montana Moon, because you've got Montana Dawn, Texas Twilight, Montana Moon would make sense and be consistent. I don't understand. And then here's this one, like the others. Montana Snowfall, again, then why not Montana Moon? I want to know. Tell me. Texas Lonesome, Montana Courage, Montana Promise, and Montana Reunion. And that is the series. When I look at them all together, it feels disjointed. If I were her business manager, not her editor, not her creative like spirit, but her business person, right? Because you finish writing a book, you have to take off your author hat and you have to put on your business hat. If I were her business manager, I would have recommended to her that she do it like this. Finish the McCutcheon family series. They look beautiful together. They're really consistent. I know what I'm getting as a reader or potential reader. If I'm going to be a complete pain in the butt, which is apparently the theme of this video, you see the second one on the bottom row, so number 6 in this, Montana Courage. That is the most inconsistent with the ones in this grouping because it doesn't show a landscape. It shows a zoomed in sky with trees. And I don't know why it couldn't have had something similar to Montana Snowfall in the upper right-hand corner. So tweak and improvement could be needed, but in general, this is a really consistent book series, and your potential reader knows that it is and feels comfortable and confident, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then separately, once the McCutcheon family series was done, you could release the spin-off, Mail Order Brides of the West. And these are consistent and beautiful. Carolyn Fluff, her name is consistent across the top. I don't know why in Catherine, right above the word Catherine, is Mail Order Brides of the West. And do you see how it's not at the same level as the other two? I don't know how that was a miss. Again, that's pretty detail oriented, but that's kind of what we're doing here. And if you're paying a professional designer, these are the expectations that I would have. And then they have really great consistency with flowers being at the bottom. But if I were her business manager, this is the direction that I would have given. Write the family series first and the spin-off series second. I would assume that this series is like I would assume that the first series is the family itself. And then this second series is like their neighbors or their friends or like somebody that was in that first series that isn't necessarily tied to the family. And those gentlemen are getting mail order breads. And that's it. That's the end of the video. Those are all of my thoughts. Sorry, not sorry if I was snarky. But I think that those are like the kinds of things that I see with a business background and things that I think can be helpful to you as you continue into your journey and publishing. And I don't know, it's always good to like learn and grow and learn from what others are doing really well as well as maybe some of their missteps, minor or major that they may be. If you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Oh, there was one more question that I had. Okay, so that McCutcheon family series, 11 books. 11. Okay, personally, I will read a series if I know it's like 3, maybe 4. I would be intimidated to read to go into a series knowing that there are 11 books, but that's just me as an individual reader. And I'm super curious if other people like those really long series. I know they work in like sci-fi and that kind of stuff, but it never occurred to me that people would read an 11 book series in romance. So if that's you, like, please tell me. I'm genuinely curious. Anyway, like this video, you might like some of my other videos. Come check me out or see me next time, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. Have fun. Okay.